ready?
Yes.
Oh, we can start. So this is the speaking mock test of the International English Language Testing System taking place at Ross IELTS Academy. The candidate is Hajbur Mohamud. The candidate number is 214-13458. The examiner is Samson Sees. Examiner number 443533. Good afternoon. My name is Samson. Would you please tell me your full name?
Good afternoon. My name is Hajbur Mahmoud, and I'm here.
Okay. Can I see your identification, please?
Yes, sure.
Great. That's wonderful. Thanks very much.
Thank you too.
Okay. So, in the first part of the exam, I will ask you some personal questions. Let's talk about your accommodation. What kind of accommodation do you live in, and what's it like?
Could you please repeat it?
Absolutely. What kind of apartment or home do you live in, and what's it like?
Okay, sure. I am living in an apartment, and it has 2 rooms and a big lobby and a balcony, and the balcony is so fantastic because I can see a big part of my city with this balcony.
Mm-hmm. And would it be easy for you to move to another accommodation?
Sure, yes. I remember that I left my home when I was 18, and I changed a lot of homes and places, and it is easy for me to live there.
Okay. And why do you think some people invest a huge amount of money in buying houses?
I think if you look at it, we can find 2 ways. One of them is invest for it is a well-paid business, I think. And another one is the atmosphere. Some homes have a good atmosphere and good places that we cannot find this feeling in other places.
Okay. Let's now talk about holidays. What do you do on holidays?
I am a mountaineer, and I usually go out with my friend to mountains that are around my city.
Okay. And how did you used to spend your summer holidays when you were a child?
It wasn't so good because, I grew up in a village. We didn't have enough equipment or places for play or games, and we just take our time to in a forest, so dangerous forest. Yes.
Right. And what would you suggest a visitor should see or do in your country?
Yes, my country has a lot of good places. For example, in the north of my country, you can find a big forest. In the south of my country, you can find a Gulf, a big sea, and eastern and western parts are so fantastic for visitors.
Wow, okay, good. Right, let's move on to talk about cooking. Who did the cooking in your family when you were a child?
Well, okay, my wife, absolutely. When I child, yes, I forgot. My mother, yes. When I was a child, I remember that we don't have, and my family don't have time to cooking because we were looking and we were working out, all of them. And I remember that when I was 8, I left my home to work. Yes.
Wow, okay. And what are some of the advantages to families cooking together?
Sure, I think and I realize that how it is fantastic, and I suggest them please take your time and meal your dinner or lunches together. I think it is so good feeling.
Okay, and do you think that children should be taught cookery at school?
Sure, yes. Human needs calories more and more during the day, and children need this calorie more than us because they are more active, and they need energy for their mind because they want to learn more and more when they are in school, I think.
All right, okay. That's the end of this part. Let's move on to the next part of the test. In part 2, I will give you a card with a topic, and you'll have to talk about that topic for up to 2 minutes. You have 1 minute to think about what you're going to say, and you can make notes if you wish. Do you understand?
Thanks, yes.
Okay, cool. So this is your cue card. Describe an unforgettable experience you had in the countryside. So there's your topic.
Thank you.
Here's a piece of paper and a pen to make notes. You can you have 1 minute to make some notes if you like. Go ahead. Okay, you may start speaking for the 2 minutes. Don't worry if you go over. I will stop you when the time is over. Go ahead.
Okay. I told you that I'm a mountaineer, and I want to tell you that it was a good experience that I had recently, near 2 years ago. We decided with my friend that went to a mountain like every weekend. We went there, we had a fantastic, first I should say that mountain that we choose for going there are around our city, and my city have a lot of mountains. In that one day that we wanted to come back at the top of one of the mountains, we decided to choose a new way. In the road back, I saw a bungee jumping place. It was great, and my friend told me that please do not do this, but I refused, I rejected, and I told them that I want to try it. I started, and if I knew how it is good and fantastic, I would try it more, and I would choose this road again. It was very good experiences because it was hard at first when you want to try, and when you are in top of the board and a rope is in your legs. When you want to jump, your body releases a lot of material and nouns. And I think it's make me happy, and it was one of the best experience that I had in my life. When I left there, I feel that I'm more courage.
Okay, thanks very much. That's the end of the part 2. I can take those back now. That's wonderful. We'll just crack on with the rest of the test. So, in part 2, you talked about an unforgettable experience you had in the countryside. Now, in this part, I want to ask you some questions related to this topic. So, let's first consider living in the countryside. What advantages does living in the countryside have compared to living in a city?
Could you please
Absolutely.
repeat it
So
again?
what advantages does living in the countryside have if you compare it to living in a busy city?
If we compare them, I think it is have a lot of differences. For example, people who are living in countryside have more dramatic places than other because city centers are so crowded, and I think that feeling that people who have in countryside are better than people who live in the city center.
Mhm. Okay. And have areas of the countryside in your country changed since you were a child?
Sure. As you know, nowadays my city is so big, more bigger than before, near 20 million, and a lot of countryside that I was a child today is a city center. Yes.
Okay. And do you think that visits to the countryside should be something that schools offer to their children?
Yes, I agree with you because children need a big place, gardens, and play. I think that a situation that they have in countryside are better than the places or situation that they may have in city center.
Okay. Now let's talk about going on vacation. Is taking holidays abroad becoming more or less popular in your country?
Unfortunately, today, as you know, my country have a big inflation, and people don't have enough money, or they are not afford to going abroad for them. But I think that, for example, near 10 years ago, it was so common.
Right. Now, what are the advantages and disadvantages of taking a year off to travel, in your opinion?
Yes, I think it is so important because everyone who want to see new places, they can collect and they can have good experiences that he can use it in his future. Yes, it's so important, I think.
Okay. And are you someone who goes on holiday a lot yourself?
Could you excuse me?
Yeah, do you go on holiday regularly yourself?
Yes, I used to going before more, but today I'm so busy. I don't have enough time for going. This kind
Okay.
of holidays.
And do you know anyone, like relatives or friends, that take a year off and go on lots of holidays?
Sure, my brother is a fan of going abroad even, and he just want to see countries or new places, new districts, and it is so good feeling for him.
Okay, thanks very much. That's the end of
Thank
the
you too.
test. All right. How do you feel?
Good, thank you.
Oh, that's good.
Yes.
You feel all right? That's good. You can collect yourself, have a break,
Was great.
take a deep breath. I'm just going to add up your band score and then we'll talk about that and then we'll go into the 4 criteria to
Thanks.
give you some feedback. All right, I'll just be with you 1 second. Okay. Right. Obviously it's in 4 criteria, the band score, but I'm going to give you the overall band score
Thank
of
you.
where you are right now.
Okay.
See, right now we're looking at a strong 5. This is a strong 5. I mean, it's not bad. I mean, there's many ways to improve. You can increase your band score by 1. You can definitely go over 6, and then when you reach that point, you can work on some newer techniques to reach the next level if you want to go higher.
Yes.
So let's look at the 4 criteria. So we've got fluency and coherence. So that's how you're able to talk. It was pretty good. You were pretty coherent. You could continue to talk lots of the time. It was usually in parts 1, 2, and 3. You had a lot of fillers and self-corrections. Some of it could have been language related. Maybe some of it was content related. So it was a mixture of both, I think. You had a few connectors like because, or what. You could probably use a little bit more of that. Maybe work more on your connectives. Sure. You can work on your boosters as well. Instead of yes, I think, you can work around the question and paraphrase it and say, this is a tough question, but I would say that you could use that a little bit, get a little bit more creative. We call them boosters to start your answers. For fluency in Korean, in all sections, I would say. At one point, you did say, if you look at it, that was quite a good booster. But use more of them, and definitely maybe try to work on some linking words, linking sentences. Sure, like, I wouldn't know what to say here. I would think, in my opinion, just to stop you going away from these ums and ahs and.
It can connect to a sentence.
Exactly, connecting to a sentence, and it will get you off that self-hesitation sort of thing, hesitating to find the next sentence. What I would do if I were you is to definitely slow down a little bit. I mean, your English, you've got quite a good command of English, but see what happens with candidates when you rush when you're speaking. It goes a little bit off the rails, and maybe if you rush, it increases the stress level, and then it will slightly damage your vocabulary and flow of speech, and so it basically connects everything together. So maybe slow down a little bit. That'll be a good thing to do, right? And let's go now to lexical resource. So that's your vocabulary. I mean, if I were you, I would definitely expand on your vocabulary. So you can use different words instead of the same ones all the time. Like, if you're talking about holidays, sometimes say vacation or getting away. You could just use a variety of words and paraphrase a little bit more. I mean, the simple vocabulary that you have, the vocabulary that you're using, it's not wrong, it's okay, and it was related. Just expand on it. Maybe go for more complex vocabulary. Sure. Not too much, but start slowly and then get a little bit more complicated each time. All right, let's go to grammatical range and accuracy. So it was mixed. I mean, for again, simple sentences, structures. For simple structures, you were okay. You were able to go through the answers, like, let's say, a little bit in part 1. It was mixed up a little bit, maybe because you were thinking about a number of ideas of what to say. I mean, you can go through your ideas and then just connect them up, because it's okay to go off topic. If you're especially in part 2, you talk on the topic, you follow the cue card, and then if you think you're running out of things to say, you can go off topic, talk about something else. As long as you've answered the question, everything's related. Some of that answer can be off topic. That's not a problem. So I mean, you had a few errors here. One of them, you said it's time to cooking. It's a time to cook or do some cooking. So make sure these errors are fixed. Definitely, I would use the record your voice technique. Record some sentences that are correct, and then play them back to yourself, and then you'll get better and better. Also, let's go now to pronunciation. This is a place where you can really improve. I mean, you said equipment. So English is a stress-related language, and when you're stressing too much in the wrong place, the pronunciation comes out wrong. So does the intonation. It's more stress-related. I think you said C, or it was city or city or C. I didn't really quite make it out, but maybe that was because you were rushed. It's not about your accent or anything. Accents are fine. It's just not rushing and not jumping over words to mispronounce them. So that was a bit blurred. And you said experient instead of experience. So and then at one point you said one experience became experiences, which would have been experience. So these errors, they're usually I think with you, it's related to speed. So once you slow down a lot,
Yes.
your pronunciation will improve a lot. And, the grammatical range and accuracy, again, your simple grammar, maybe you can go a little bit more complicated.
Sure.
But as long as you slow down, you can start doing that, and then,
I try, yes.
yeah, we'll come together. Are there any questions you'd like to ask me?
What is my score?
Yeah, the advanced score I give you at the beginning, I'll tell you again. Overall, we're looking at a 5.
Okay.
Yeah, we're looking at a 5. I mean, that definitely you can improve. Right now you're a 5, and following these techniques, you can increase it to a 6.
Sure.
And then when you reach the 6, you can use more complicated vocabulary after that to go higher. What sort of band score are you hoping to get in the real IELTS testing?
I think that's I think it's affordable.
Yeah, you're looking for a 6? Yeah, okay, well that's good. No, you can reach a 6. Just follow these techniques and you should be okay.
Sure.
Okay, cool.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
It's good to have you.